Hey, my lovely, lovelies, wonderful people, a pleasant evening to everybody. You know, I hear people saying they don't trust the government with the different resources and monies that are coming in and relief items because they're basically going to sniffle them off. All right, listen. Whatever floats your boat. There are some organizations that you can actually drop off your items to, and I think that you probably, in my opinion, you can trust the government in giving them the relief items, all right, for them to distribute it to the different parishes or the different affected areas. Now, you have, for example, Food for the Poor. Father Holong, may God bless his soul. That's a fantastic human being. I have never met him in person, but just watching him over the years, observing him over the years, I mean, that man is, I think he's in his 80s, and I don't think I've ever heard that he has been ill. It's like the blessing of the Lord is upon him. And I know for a fact, because I know people who have benefited greatly from Food for the Poor. So you can partner with them. If you're uncomfortable to give it to the government, you can partner with Food for the Poor. Another human being that some people may not be fond of, but being fond of somebody doesn't mean that that person is not integrous in doing what they need to do. So you may not like somebody, but it doesn't mean that they will not do what it is that they are set out to do good. And that's Andre Stevenson. I've never heard anyone say that when he's gotten things to give to people, that him sniffing them off. I've never heard it. I've heard that he gives them out. So you can try him. As I said, you can go through the government agencies. What you can do is that you can speak to a credible person or people and ask where you think is the best route if I'm to go via government. Because I'm not going to say that they're not going to give people. For example, I've seen the Prime Minister, I've seen Minister Pernell Charles Jr., I've seen Minister Floyd Green. Who else can I call? Who else can I say? But I've seen, I'm sure there are others. I can't think of a name right now. I know that some of the others are doing it. I've seen where they're giving out, like you see them handing out, packages, relief, care packages to the people and so forth. Because it would be foolhardy. First of all, it wouldn't make any sense. Food cannot be kept forever and ever and ever. Amen. It would spoil. So it would be of no use to them and so on. So we have to look at it in a logical sense. It would be praiseworthy, not just praiseworthy, but it would be smart to give it out. It's not something that is going to be durable forever, if you understand what I mean. It has an expiration date, that cannot be extended, or that is not extensive, in terms of the food items that they're giving out. So it wouldn't make any sense for them to keep it, if you understand what I mean, people. So we need to rationalize this thing a little bit more in saying that they're going to keep the items or whatever it is. You probably would have had a better argument if you said they would give it to their own and so on. But if you look at the situation, everyone is displaced at their own, and so PNP, GLP, OPP, and UPP mix up. Remember, say house blow down, car fling over here. So nobody's really separated. This is not a political, tribal war right now. Everybody needs to unite. It makes no sense. Politics doesn't make any sense in this case. All right? So I'm saying that you can trust, to an extent. The only being that you trust 100% is God. You trust no human being above more than 80. And it's some human beings you can only give up to 80. Very few. You probably need a microscope or a telescope to see those few that you can trust up to 80%. But you can give it, as I said, do your research, ask questions, don't just give willy-nilly, hairy-fairy, and so on. All right, but I give you two that I know, especially Food for the Poor. You can trust them, partner with them, go to them, and so on. Because one of the things that I'm hearing is happening, because I have not gotten a chance to go to any of the parishes. When I tell you I really want to go, what is happening is that everybody wants to go. So everyone who is driving there, and by the way, it's better when you drive a robust vehicle. When the small vehicles that me say we have to turn so back and wait until we can get like a truck, or because I've heard, you know, what we see on the television, probably the television kind of sugarcoats some of the thing. Maybe not to really disrupt our minds and our psyche. But I hear it's beyond terrible, beyond debilitating mentally. It's really and truly bad. So what you do, it is better when you partner with the government agencies. It is better when you partner with other companies, pool with them and go with them. Be a volunteer in one form or another, probably to hand out to this, to that, whatever it is. Because I'm hearing something that is quite disturbing. Sorry to digress a bit, that people are going and taking selfies. I found that quite disturbing. I'm somebody who likes to take pictures because I believe in keeping them for posterity and to see the changes as you get older and older. You know, to see how you look and, you know, you dress, every single thing, and just capturing the moment. It's good that we keep these things for posterity, but to be taking selfies, I was very much flabbergasted, literally discombobulated, taken aback and saying, what? Are these people for real? Are they on drugs? Are they, them head I get a water? Them smoke the hardest, strongest weed? I mean, I'm sorry to be this descriptive, but, you know, I wonder if people understand what, it's a highest category hurricane that came and dismantled, decimated the parishes, most of the parishes down there in the west. So to be, you know, taking, so it's like you're on a joy ride, like you feel good. Selfies? Anyway, back to regular programming. Food for the poor. You can partner with them. They are for the poor. I'm sure Salvation Army. There was a little itch and something in the news with them, but I've heard people say they still do their jobs and help people. So in spite of what was said in fairly recent times, I've heard people say they do their jobs predominantly. So, you know, Andre Stevens, as I said, he helps people a lot. Never heard anybody say that he has stolen or taken anything and so on for himself. I've never heard it, and he has always given out. And again, as I said, find out which, maybe you can go through government agencies, or your MP, go through your local MP or councillor. You know what I mean? And so on. I see some of the people on, I don't know them well, some of the TikTokers and other entertainers and so on. I'm grateful to some of them and all of that. But, you know, I can't vouch for, although I can't vouch for anybody but myself in a sense. But there are some people that you know that they're credible on the basis of what other people would have said. You know that you can, and what other people, I know other people would have benefited, you know, from them and so on. So do your research, but do not promulgate a propaganda still that the government is going to sniff off. As I said, with the food, it would be foolhardy. What would they be doing with all of that? It would spoil eventually, and it would make any sense. You know what I mean? It would not make any sense at all. So let's look at it logically and not just be carried away with feelings, because they're not necessarily truth or facts, you know, and we have to, as I said, lift our thinking a little bit. All right, so be curious. So people don't just run, you know, sometimes we run with things that are not necessarily true. You know, I hear somebody said, they don't see the Prime Minister giving out the hefty bag when me see him give me, I have to say, no, sir. I have to say, wow. Hefty. And I look at some squeezy smalls, proper. I was like, wow. You know what I mean? And some of the people that I see giving out items, like I see them put even Always brand, you know, sanitary napkin. Big up to you, you know, the people who are doing that. Big up. Really and truly respect that. So anyway, guys, as I said, just give to Food for the Poor, Andre Stevens, the government, others that you may feel comfortable with. You know what to do with TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of those lions. And thank you. And follow me on Instagram.